Somewhere right now, a person woke up this morning and made plans. They thought about dinner. They argued about something small. They told themselves they'd change tomorrow. They never made it to noon. That is not a story meant to frighten you. That is a story meant to free you. Because the only real difference between that person and you, right now, in this moment, is that you are still here. Still breathing. Still holding the extraordinary, terrifying, irreplaceable gift of one more second. And yet, most people will spend that second the same way they spent the last 1,000. Scrolling. Postponing. Pretending the clock isn't moving. Telling themselves the life they truly want begins after something else happens first. It doesn't. It never did. The life you want begins in the pause between who you've been and who you choose, right now, to become. Death is not the enemy. Wasted life is. And the two are not as far apart as we pretend. So before another moment passes, before another breath slips by unclaimed, hear this. Lesson 1. Stand on your own ground, or someone else will stand on it for you. The person who cannot stand alone will always be at the mercy of whoever is willing to stand beside them. And people change. Relationships end. Jobs disappear. The foundation built on another human being is not a foundation, it is borrowed ground, and one day, without warning, the loan is called in. Self-reliance is not coldness. It is not pride. It is the quiet, unshakable knowing that no matter what falls away, you will not fall with it. Picture a tree after a storm. The ones that survive are not the ones that bent toward every other tree for support, they are the ones that grew their roots deep and silently, alone, in the dark soil, long before the storm ever came. You are already more capable than you have allowed yourself to believe. The doubt you feel is not evidence of weakness. It is evidence that you have been leaning on the wrong things for too long. Today, do one hard thing, alone, that you have been waiting for someone else to do with you. Prove to yourself that you can. Lesson 2. Your time is not renewable. Stop spending it like it is. You cannot earn back a Tuesday you spent in misery. You cannot refund a year swallowed by a job that diminished you, a relationship that hollowed you out, or a habit that kept you numb. Every hour you give away carelessly is an hour subtracted from the finite, breathtaking, once given sum of your existence. Think of a candle burning in a room where someone left the window open. The flame flickers wildly, burning faster, giving its light to no one, just consumed by a draft that was never supposed to be there. Your energy is that flame. Every unnecessary obligation, every draining presence, every mindless hour, these are open windows. Close them. Deliberately. One by one. Peace is not a reward waiting at the end of business. It is a daily, active, courageous choice to protect what is yours. Today, look at this week's obligations. Find one thing that costs you energy and returns you nothing. Remove it. Your time is not a donation. Lesson 3. The weight you refuse to put down will eventually bring you to your knees. Guilt and resentment are two of the most expensive things a human being can carry, and both are entirely optional. Guilt says you should have been different than you were when you were still learning to be who you are. Resentment says someone else's failure should cost you your present peace. Both are lies dressed in the language of justice. Imagine a man crossing a desert carrying a stone for every person who ever wronged him, and a stone for every mistake he ever made. He tells himself the stones are important, that they matter, that they mean something. But the desert doesn't care about the stones. The desert only measures steps, and the man with empty hands gets further. Forgiveness is not absolution given to those who hurt you. It is a mercy you give to yourself. Put down the stones. The distance you still have to travel deserves your full strength. Today, name the one thing, one person, one regret you have been carrying the longest. Give yourself permission, just once, to set it down. Lesson 4. Not everyone who stands close to you is standing with you. Some people in your life are not companions, they are anchors. And they do not always know it. They are not always malicious. Sometimes they are simply people who stopped growing and unconsciously need you to stop too, so the distance between you does not become a mirror they cannot bear to look into. A boundary is not a punishment. It is a map. It tells people clearly where you end and where the terms of your presence begin. The right people, the ones truly worth keeping, will not resent your limits. They will respect them. They will even be relieved by them, because they too are waiting for someone to be honest about where the lines are. Surround yourself with people who make silence comfortable, growth exciting, and honesty safe. Everything else is just company for the sake of not being alone, and there are far worse things than solitude. Today, set one boundary, gently, firmly, without apology. Notice how it feels to choose yourself without needing permission to do it. Lesson 5. The person you are becoming requires daily construction. You do not become who you want to be by wishing for it in dramatic moments of revelation. You become that person in the small, unglamorous, daily decision to invest in yourself when no one is watching, when there is no applause, when the results are not yet visible. Growth is largely invisible right up until the moment it is undeniable. A sculptor does not wait to be inspired before touching the stone. They show up. They chip away. They work through the sessions that feel pointless, the days the stone seems to resist, the weeks when nothing looks different. And then one morning, something unmistakably human begins to emerge, because every ordinary session was secretly extraordinary. 30 minutes of reading. One chapter. A walk without your phone. A skill practiced badly until it is practiced well. These are not small things. These are the bricks of the person the world hasn't met yet. Today, give yourself 30 uninterrupted minutes of growth. Not for anyone else. Lesson 6. Gratitude is the antidote to the poison of comparison. The mind that is never trained to be grateful will never know it has enough, because there is always someone with more, always something newer, always a version of life more polished than yours being displayed for an audience that is just as empty. Comparison is a race with no finish line, run on a track that was designed to keep you moving and never let you arrive. But consider this, the very eyes reading these words, the mind processing this meaning, the heartbeat underneath your ribs that asked nothing of you this morning except to keep going. Someone, somewhere, is losing those things today. Is fighting to keep them. Is bargaining with everything they have just to stay one more day. What you have right now, ordinary, imperfect, unfinished as it may be, is something vast and irreplaceable. Gratitude does not deny your pain. It simply refuses to let the pain be the only thing you see. Today, before you open a single app, write down 3 specific things you are grateful for. Specific. Real. Present. Do this every morning for 7 days and watch your entire lens shift. Lesson 7. The present moment is the only place your life actually lives. You can spend a lifetime rehearsing the past in your mind, replaying conversations that cannot be changed, re-examining wounds that only deepen with each examination. or you can spend it in anxiety about a future that may never arrive in the shape you fear. Both are exits from the only place your life actually happens, right here, right now, in this unrepeatable, irretrievable, magnificent present moment. Death will eventually call every one of us, not to punish us, but simply because that is the nature of everything that is real. And when that moment comes, no one will lie there wishing they had spent more time in their inbox, more time angry, more time performing for strangers online. They will reach for the moments they were truly, fully, barefoot in the soil present for. Be here. Not perfectly. Not always. But more than you were yesterday. The life happening right outside your distraction is extraordinary enough to deserve you completely. Today, put the phone face down for one conversation, one meal, one walk. Return to your own life. It is not waiting for you, it is happening without you. Final reflection. Death is not a threat. It is a teacher. And what it teaches, if you are willing to listen, is that nothing about your time here is guaranteed, except that it is limited, sacred, and entirely yours to shape while you still can. You have heard the lessons. You have felt the weight of them. And somewhere inside you, past the noise and the distraction and the endless list of reasons to wait, there is a version of you that is already reaching toward something better. Something true. Don't make that version wait any longer. Stand on your own ground. Guard your flame. Put down the stones. Build your borders. Invest in yourself. Be grateful for what breathes. And for the love of everything you were given, be here. The clock is moving. It has always been moving. And the only question that has ever mattered is, what will you do with the time that is still, right now, completely yours? Until next time, stay present, stay fearless, and stay alive.